When you bring a lawsuit against your doctor claiming that he was careless and caused you significant harm and injury, after starting your lawsuit, why doesn't the defense simply turn around and say, you know what, you're right. How much do you want? Would you like to know the answer? Come join me for a walk through the neighborhood as I share with you the answer to that question. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. I'll tell you why. Because there are always factual disputes in these medical malpractice cases, in these accident cases, in these wrongful death cases. It is the rare opportunity where the defense throws their hands up as soon as you start a lawsuit and says, you know what? You're absolutely right. Why didn't I think of that? Why don't I just get out my checkbook and ask you how much you want and I'll just write you a blank check? No, that's not how it works. So why are there always factual disputes? I'll tell you why. Either there's a critical issue about your memory of what occurred and the doctor's memory of what occurred, or there are significant factual disputes about what was the standard of care and whether the standard of care was violated or breached. That's critically important. So there could be a factual dispute about the medicine involved, where our expert believes that the doctor who treated you violated from the basic standards of medical care. The doctor is rarely going to turn around and say, yes, you're right, I did violate the standard of care. No, he's not going to do that. It's going to create a conflict. The doctor is going to get defensive and his attorney, and they're going to say, I did nothing wrong. Why are you suing me? That's the first thing that's going to happen. The second conflict that's going to arise is that our expert is going to say that as a result of this carelessness of the doctor violating the basic standards of medical care, you now suffered harm and injury. And the doctor and their expert and their attorney are going to turn around and say, no. Even if the doctor did something wrong, whatever he did not cause harm and injury. So now that's the second significant dispute, the second significant conflict that's going to arise. The first is what we call liability. They will not roll over and admit that the doctor was liable. The second conflict that arises is that the doctor's going to say, even if he was careless and negligent and departed from the standard of care, that carelessness did not result in your injury. They are going to turn it around on you and put the blame on you, claiming that you, the injured patient, are the one responsible for your own injuries. Maybe you were told to do something and you failed to do it. Maybe the doctor told you not to do X, Y, and Z, and you went ahead and did X, Y, but not Z, or some other variation of it. And now they're going to turn around and say, you, the injured patient, caused your own harm and injury. Now, is that it? No, there are more factual disputes. There are more conflicts that come up in this type of scenario. What's the other conflict? The other conflict is damages. So now they say, if the doctor did something wrong, and if that wrongdoing caused you harm and injury, they are now going to argue that your injuries are not as bad as you claim them to be. So those are the typical defenses and conflicts that arise in these medical malpractice cases in New York. That is why at the very beginning of your case, the defense simply does not throw their hands up and roll over and say, you know what, you're absolutely right. We screwed up, let me get my checkbook out and just ask you how much you want. No. It doesn't work that way at all. Instead, there's always conflict. And if it's not conflict between what you remember happening or what somebody said to you and what the doctor has done or said, now there's always conflict between the medical experts. So you might be thinking, okay, if you have competing medical experts, so now you as the injured patient, go to the best attorney you can find. Your attorney hires the best medical expert he can find, and that medical expert, after reviewing all of your records, confirms that yes, your doctor was careless, yes, his carelessness was a cause of your injury, and yes, your injuries are in fact significant and permanent and disabling. Now, when the defense, months down the road, or much later, when they review the same exact records, they will always, I shouldn't say always, they will almost always come to the opposite conclusion. And what's the opposite conclusion? Number one, that the doctor did nothing wrong. He was not careless. Number two, that if he did something wrong, that carelessness did not cause and contribute to your injuries. And number 3, that if the doctor was careless and that carelessness caused you harm, your injuries really are not as bad as you claim them to be. That sets up clear conflicts for multiple issues that are now going to last throughout the entire course of your litigation. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you because you know in your heart of hearts that something was done wrong. You may not know at the very beginning exactly what, and that's why you have a medical expert review the records to identify exactly what was done wrong. And now you have no choice but to proceed forward with a case. Why? To obtain money as a form of compensation for all the harms and losses and damages you incurred because of somebody's carelessness. You know, I realize you're likely watching this because you have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen in New York, but you have not yet started a lawsuit and are still thinking about doing so and have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.